have a kind of certain banter, which Harry used to thoroughly enjoy, pretty sexist and misogynist and so on and so on. And they're spraying around all their normal jokes. And Meghan is picking them up on every single one.
Once hailed as a modern-day fairy tale, Meghan Markle's rise from Hollywood obscurity to royal grandeur has unraveled into something far more humiliating, a cautionary tale of ego, entitlement, and hollow ambition. What was once framed as a dazzling ascension is now being described as a catastrophic fall from grace. Critics like Tom Bower and Piers have publicly torn into Meghan, accusing her of a shallow grasp of royal duty and an obsession with self-promotion. Now, she's mocked as little more than a glorified dropshipper, hawking jam jars and skincare products, having traded the halls of Windsor for the noisy, chaotic battlefield of influencer marketing.
At Sandringham, a weekend shooting party, which was quite normal for Harry, and he just thought they'd all get on together, but in fact the opposite. I mean, Meghan is someone who doesn't hold herself back from complaining about people's way of manner, their way they talk, the way they behave, and all the rest of it.
And the British public isn't buying Meghan's glossy rebrand. Tom Bower, one of her most relentless critics, summed up her fall from grace with cutting precision. She's a one-trick pony who used the royal name, then threw it away. After walking away from the royal family, Meghan's focus shifted with lightning speed from public service to personal profit. Her projects no longer spoke of legacy or duty, but of dollar signs and digital marketing. Her much-hyped lifestyle brand launched with a line of jams and oils that critics instantly slammed as overpriced, unfocused, and uninspired. It's almost unthinkable that a woman who once carried a royal title now spends her time peddling products online, copying the playbook of wellness influencers half her age. The transformation isn't just surprising, it's downright humiliating.
What was amusing was on the way home from Sandringham, they're all texting each other, oh my God, what a nutter, how on earth can he stay with her? And the same then happened when they went to Tommy Inskip's wedding in Jamaica, which was a great friend of Harry's, who in the end was banned from the dinner after their wedding.
Few have held Meghan to account as bluntly as Piers. In a blistering broadcast, he dismantled her obsession with portraying herself as the eternal victim. She doesn't want privacy, she wants attention, but only on her terms, he snapped. Piers painted her post-Megxit career as a masterclass in manipulation, accusing her of weaponizing emotional narratives to deflect criticism and fortify her brand. Her interviews, he argued, are rarely about genuine causes, they're about her. Even her much-hyped Spotify podcast was dominated by carefully scripted monologues centering on her own struggles, while the very people she claimed to champion were reduced to background voices. For Piers and many others, Meghan's journey isn't a tale of personal growth. It's a saga of grievance, told by a duchess who refused to be royal.
Saw all these celebrities filing it.
Exactly.
Who'd known her about 3 minutes.
Yeah, if that. And Meghan was really, she controls everything. So it was a great cameo.
Tell me about the Queen. The Queen apparently, you report, didn't want Meghan at Philip's funeral. Why?
Reports from palace insiders consistently circle back to one undeniable truth. Meghan never truly wanted to be a working royal. She chafed at the centuries-old protocols, pushed back against traditional duties, and clashed repeatedly with staff. Royal engagements, insiders claim, were often treated by her as tedious obligations, and her appearances carried an unmistakable air of discomfort. One former aide put it bluntly, Meghan wanted the spotlight, not the structure. Her interests, they said, lay less in service to the crown and more in the global fame that the title delivered.
Well, she didn't want to be the attention diverted from Philip. If Meghan had been there, she would have got all the attention. I mean, the Harry walk up the hill with William that just showed how the media was focused on the reconciliation and everything after Oprah. So when she said to one of her aides, thank goodness Meghan isn't coming.
The responsibility that came with the role, the ideals of service, humility, and putting others before oneself. Core values of the monarchy never seemed to resonate with Meghan. She wanted the crown, not the commitment. And now, while Meghan scrambles to cling to relevance with product launches and flashy PR stunts, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, continues to embody what true royal dignity looks like. This year, Catherine didn't even set foot at Ascot, yet the media still couldn't stop talking about her. That's the difference between borrowed attention and enduring respect.
Queen that kicked them off the balcony at the Jubilee?
Well, I think it was the Queen, but also I'm sure Charles and William had a big say in that. They weren't going to allow Netflix to dominate their big celebration.
When I read quite a few of the anecdotes in the extracts, there's a lot of diva-like behavior from Meghan Markle, very controlling about her image when she does a vote.
That's real influence. No matter how hard Meghan tries, she can't command that kind of spotlight without sparking controversy. Catherine doesn't have to chase headlines. Her quiet strength, timeless elegance, and steady dedication to her causes do all the work for her. The comparison is brutal. Where Meghan shouts for attention, Catherine draws it effortlessly. It's the ultimate contrast. Genuine class on one side, carefully curated chaos on the other.
That she had no idea what she's really getting into.
Oh, on the contrary, I think she's a very scheming, very clever woman. No, I think the surprising thing at the end of the book, I realized how successful she'd been. Here was a woman who was nothing. I mean, born, broken family, the whole thing.
Meghan's post-royal resume is scattered with flops and fading ventures. Her children's book, The Bench, landed with lukewarm reviews and quickly slipped from public conversation. Her much-hyped Spotify podcast, Archetypes, was axed after just one season. Even the multi-million-dollar Netflix deal delivered little more than a forgettable docuseries. Polished, yes, but utterly lacking the emotional punch needed to win hearts.
Broken family, the whole thing, an unknown actress, all the rest of it, becomes a global star, which is what she wanted. When she was about 9 or 10, she said to her father, I want to be famous, I want to walk down the red carpet. And she has now done that.
Or spark any real dialogue. Every time Meghan bursts onto the scene with a glossy announcement complete with a Vogue spread or a teary-eyed interview, and then nothing. No follow-through, no lasting impact. It's a pattern on repeat. Announce, dramatize, disappear, and with each cycle, the public grows a little less interested and a lot more skeptical.
That she could be a great success, and by marrying Harry, she did it. And so
are they in trouble now, though? Is the Sussex brand on the downward slope? A lot of American friends of mine are completely done with them, which they weren't even a year ago.
Sure.
And now, with As Ever, critics worry it's just another glossy package with nothing of substance inside. In short, Meghan's career is beginning to resemble a PR graveyard, filled with flashy launches that went nowhere. Influencer Meghan, from palaces to product placement, it's almost unthinkable that only a few years ago she was standing at the very center of royal power.
I wouldn't be sad at all, because they pose a real threat to the royal family.
Well, that's what I've felt from the reason I've been so exercised about them is I think they are destroying a lot of the magic of the monarchy. They're calling the...
Meghan Markle once walked beside the Queen at royal engagements. Fast forward to today, and she's meticulously arranging product shots for Instagram, promoting jam jars as if they were revolutionary creations. Her As Ever brand has been hammered by critics for overpriced, underwhelming products, sparking a wave of online mockery. Many now say she's traded the gravitas of royalty for the fleeting trends of an Instagram influencer.
Without producing any hard evidence to support any of his claims.
On the contrary.
And it's incredibly damaging.
Actually telling untruths.
Yeah.
And I think that was terrible. That's really why I wrote the book, because I just thought this woman is really doing something quite dreadful to Britain, and Harry has...
She's trying to sell a lifestyle no one truly believes she lives. Critics argue she's chasing relevance through glossy aesthetics, not genuine authenticity. Gone is the Duchess, who once sat within the walls of Buckingham Palace. What's left is a woman clinging to curated posts while her credibility crumbles, and all the while the royal family moves on without her.
In love with her in a ludicrous way, and has gone along as her accomplice.
What about Thomas Markle in all this? He's had a big stroke. I'm told he can't even talk at the moment. He's not heard a word from his daughter. He brought her up for years on his own.
And behind the palace walls, there's a sense of quiet relief. Royal insiders report that while the Sussexes' exit was dramatic, it lifted a heavy cloud from the monarchy. Staff no longer find themselves walking on eggshells with every interaction.
Brought her up for years on his own. Wasn't at the wedding for reasons we all know, but what's your sense about him?
Well, I went down to Mexico and spent 2 days with him. And of course, you can't have anything other than sympathy for a man who...
Public approval of the royal family has quietly climbed since Harry and Meghan's departure. King Charles is now focused on shaping his legacy, while Prince William and Princess Catherine have shouldered heavier workloads with composure and grace. Across the Atlantic, Meghan continues to generate headlines for drama rather than duty, and the contrast couldn't be sharper. One side is building the monarchy's future, the other is selling soap. The institution has proven it never needed Meghan, but Meghan, it seems, still needs the monarchy. Once the public gave her the benefit of the doubt, but patience has worn thin, and her repeated claims of racism, bullying, media victimhood, and royal cruelty now sound less like revelations and more like rehearsed lines. Meghan and Harry's tell-all with Oprah drew global sympathy at first, but the more Meghan speaks, the more contradictions surface. Even her glossy Netflix documentary contained moments flagged by fact-checkers as misleading or exaggerated. Now, Hermes leans far more on grievance than goodwill, and as the old saying goes, you can only cry wolf so many times before the crowd stops listening. Her relationship with Hollywood has shifted from aspirational to awkward. Before Harry, she wasn't a fixture in A-list circles, and while she once dreamed of becoming a global icon, she's now the guest no one's inviting. Industry sources claim top-tier celebrities have quietly distanced themselves, wary of the drama attached to the Sussex brand. The collapse of her Spotify deal only deepened the chill, sending shockwaves through entertainment circles already questioning her staying power. If Meghan couldn't keep a podcast alive, even with full creative control, what else can she truly deliver? In a city where results matter more than image, she's now being viewed as a liability, not an asset. It's a silent snub, but a powerful one. When the trick is over, so is the game. And Meghan's entire post-royal playbook has revolved around one trick, leveraging her royal status to build a brand. But that magic act is wearing thin. Outside the palace gates, the titles mean little. Her once potent narrative of royal victimhood has been drained dry. The audience, no longer enchanted. Without the Duchess title and the wave of global sympathy that followed her royal exit, all that's left is a celebrity scrambling for relevance. The irony is glaring. She left royalty seeking independence, yet now clings to royal relevance just to sell jam. A one-trick pony, and even that trick is running out of steam. And so Meghan Markle's story is no longer one of royalty. It's the cautionary tale of a reinvention gone wrong. Once a duchess with the world at her feet, she now clings to fading fame with overpriced jam jars and well-worn narratives. The British press has moved on. The royal family has moved forward. And the public, they've woken up. What was once celebrated as a daring break from royal tradition is now seen as a blueprint for self-sabotage driven by ego, not empathy. Meghan's saga isn't a royal tragedy, it's a masterclass in squandered opportunities. And if the current headlines are any indication, her reign over the spotlight isn't just slipping, it may already be over. Because in the ruthless world of fame, the spotlight is never guaranteed. It has to be earned, and Meghan's problem is that the world has seen the act before. The glossy photos, the carefully rehearsed vulnerability, the dramatic tell-alls, they no longer shock, inspire, or even entertain. What once felt like revelation now feels like repetition, and repetition is fatal in an industry that feeds on novelty. If she can't reinvent herself in a way that feels real, the next chapter of Meghan Markle's story may not be written by her at all, but by those ready to close the book. The truth is, Meghan's greatest asset, her royal connection, has also become her biggest cage. Every move, every project, every headline is still tied to a title she no longer holds, leaving little room for a narrative that stands on its own. Without the palace backdrop and the built-in prestige it brings, her ventures are judged on merit alone, and so far they've struggled to stand tall. In the brutal economy of celebrity, that's a dangerous position to be in, because the moment the name stops selling, the world stops buying.